Either Cheesemeisters, that would have been This So Heart of Mine Been Broke 1,000 Times, which was playing when Nat had his heart attack because obviousness.
Oh my god.
I am Jeff, and somehow I started doing crystal meth. Did it again. Took yours.
I hate you. I'm too tired to have had a backup, and I knew you were gonna do this shit.
All right, let's see. What else happened in this episode that you could say?
I'm
Or,
Leslie and
let's
I'm
see.
pregnant.
There you fucking go.
I'm very much not, just to be clear.
Okay, we're leaving that in.
It's the only other thing I could think of.
There you go. Yep. So this week, Cheesemeisters, we are talking about season 4, episode 18, Heartbreaker, Dream Taker, Nat's heart's gonna give out on him. Original air date 1/26/94. Did you throw up in your mouth or throw something this episode?
No, I didn't. Like,
Yeah.
no one. I at this point, the things that could have made me mad were expected. Oh, David fell off the wagon already? No. Oh, Steve, ruined some woman's chance of getting money for the evening doing her job? Shocker. Brandon yelled at someone about things well beyond his life experience? Never saw that coming. So,
I know. People are on their own shit this week
Yeah.
doing what they do. All right, so here's what happens this episode. Bunch of random fucking shit to start with. Like, Brandon's walking through campus wearing a suit. Big old 1994 too big for you suit. That's how we wore them, kids. And he has a meeting with a dean that we've never met, who congratulates Brandon on something we didn't know that he was trying for or that existed, where he's going to be the CU representative. The whole school, you guys, the whole university, California University, which I'm guessing, and I don't know I don't know if we ever get this data, but I'm guessing 20,000 undergrad. Like, you think it's about 20,000 students in undergrad?
I don't know. They took everyone from West Bev, so 25.
Every single one of them. Maybe, yeah, they jumped it. So it's not a small school, but it's not a big school.
No.
But it's a fucking whole school, and they chose this jagweed who Steve accurately points out pissed off the Greeks and the progressives, and who's left?
Also,
it's the only two groups on the campus.
Pissed off a professor already in a valid way, so I'm kind of surprised Professor Randall didn't try to ruin his prospects, but promising young man.
Blowback pitch.
Yeah.
So Brandon is out of nowhere selected to be the one person at CU who gets on this task force, who advises the president on higher education, and it means he's going to get to meet the president. And that's what, I don't know if you knew this, but Bill Clinton met JFK when he was younger. So obviously, same thing. They pointed that out. They mentioned it to Brandon in the Peach bit, but you may have just let it glaze over.
It completely went over my head, and I was very much trying to understand what was happening, because I know they're setting up for stuff. And I've also seen that the title, I think, of this season finale is Mr. Walsh Goes to Washington. So
that is correct.
Yeah, I know.
So yeah, we're setting up the end game of the season. But fucking out of nowhere, and even Don is like, don't look for logic here, everybody.
Yeah.
That was, she might as well have stared at the camera and said, just let this shit slide. It's okay. And Cindy's like, well, that's cool, because I'm a student there now. And everybody's like, the fuck?
Yeah.
So Cindy's going to the counseling program or something, whatever it is she's doing. And I'm haunted, and I don't want to get into this yet, but I can't. That hat that Cindy puts on her giant hair. This that hat is worse than David's hat, and David's hat means he's on drugs. It is terrible. This hat, it's the hat is so huge. It's
That's
so
why
boxy.
she immediately took it off.
No, she didn't. Brenda turned it around. Brenda fixed it.
Okay, yes, Brenda fixed it, but then Carol Parter went, and we're done.
That hat should have been burned before it was created. That hat should have been aborted. That's what I'm saying.
Eat it!
Something else that's going on in this episode. Andrea's still pregnant. Wondering whether she should get an abortion. Ask Kelly about it. And Kelly's like, have not. But Kelly's like, hey, have you talked to Jesse? He was the sperm donor. And she's like, wait, are you sure he was the donor? Because remember Dan Rubin, racist? And Andrea's like, look, you think I would let racist ass Dan Rubin get up in this without a Jimmy hat? And she's like, did not happen. The only one coming in here bareback is Jesse. So Andrea got cream pied. And here we are. Like you do. And she's like, no, I haven't told Jesse yet because he's all Catholic and probably not pro-choice. And Kelly is like, he wasn't so religious that he didn't just fuck you raw. And Andrea's like, that's a fair point. And then Kelly, another fair point, says, hey, remember when you were on Rapline? And I was like, yes.
Yep.
We remembered. And she's like, what'd you tell those pregnant girls? And Andrea was like, I probably told him to do something smart. And Kelly's like, why don't you listen to your own advice, knucklehead? And so she's like, all right, I'm going to tell Jesse. But Jesse, he cancels the telling first by making her feel guilty because he's worried she's going to dump him in the quad, which is where people dump people.
Yep.
Apparently. But she's like, no, not dumping you. And he's like, all right, so I have news that's better than your news. My news is clerkship in San Francisco next summer. Let's go. And her news is, I'm not telling you my news. So they had a picnic. Go ahead.
Okay, two questions I had about this scene. One, yes. He thought he was getting dumped, but he still went ahead and prepped a picnic just in case.
Well, it's like you put up your force, you turn on the deflector shields. Okay. It's a defense mechanism.
And then secondly, when she says, oh, it's nothing, he just lets that slide. I'm like, Jesse, you're better than that.
Yeah.
You would have been like, no, you wanted to talk to me about something. What's going on? I can see it in your face.
God, what was I watching the other day? Some dumb clip of something where somebody was like, if your partner says, like, everything's fine, it's nothing, should you leave them alone or talk to them? And the one person was like, you should leave me alone. And the other person was like, you should talk to me. Like, yep. So it's, as long as you know what that means for the person you're with, then I think you got to figure it out.
Yep.
It's one of those things. Jesse was like, we can just talk about what's happening with me. And also maybe have a sandwich. Which, that's good. So eventually Andrea is like, I got to tell Jesse, but not until she talks to Brandon first, who's like, I have problems, Andrea, and like walks into Andrea's room while she's sobbing and is like, I have to talk to you about my problems. And he's like, oh, wait, you have problems? And tells her to do what we all knew she was going to do anyway.
Yeah.
But Brandon's been otherwise occupied this episode because Nat had a heart attack. And Dylan brings Suzanne over to get a job at the Peach Pit because it's the only place that is hiring in Los Angeles ever.
And she just fucking gets it.
Of course she does. She has a good resume. And she's got good references. I'm telling you, networking matters. Like, that's what matters. Dylan got her the job. And then Nat drops dead. But they save him. He's in the hospital, and his cousin Joey, who turns out, clever plot device, owns 50% of the Peach Pit.
Ah, nuts.
This guy we never heard of owns 50% of the place we spend all of our time. Makes sense. Um, it's probably that's actually like I don't know who owns Starbucks. You know what I mean? Like I don't know all the owners of Starbucks. Like there's probably a 5% stake owner that I've never heard of.
Yeah.
Probably a 80% stakeholder I've never heard of. So I guess that all tracks. But you know, Joey is like, "Hey, somebody got to tell Butch that we're selling the peach pit," and Brandon's like, "You're not telling Butch shit." Um, and Nat's nickname is Butch. Apparently, it used to be. More random shit that we learned this episode, Butch. Um, and but Joey and Jim are meeting off camera, talking about the Peach Pit's woeful financials. And the only person who overhears it is Brenda, who is at home with nothing to do. And except for plot exposition has to go somewhere. She tells Brandon about the Peach Pit closing.
Mm-hmm.
And Nat is like, "Oh no, Joey didn't open up for breakfast. Oh no, Joey didn't open up for lunch." And Brandon's like, "Joey didn't open up at all?
Yep.
Yeah, might close the Peach Pit." But you know, like Brandon, the only person Brandon doesn't yell at is Nat. He goes home and yells at Jim, and then they tell Nat, and Brandon's like, "It's the only thing in his whole life. If you close the Peach Pit, he's not going to make it out of the hospital. He's going to be dead tomorrow." And this is when it strikes me that I feel like at this point in time, Nat is younger than I am.
Oh.
Like, just the only thing I have to gauge things on is like how gray people are, you know, which is like
Yeah.
a faulty metric because people dye their hair and stuff. But Nat has very little gray hair.
Yes.
So I feel like, and I have considerably more gray hair. See, look at this. It's all.
You got some Reed Richards gray hair.
I do, but it's up in here too. It's all over the place.
Yeah.
But it's fine. I have hair. I'm good. But Nat has like a couple little pieces of salt just flecked in there. So this dude's 44. Like that's my guess. My guess is Nat is 44.
When you're in college.
It's old when you got a bum ticker. There's 5 factors for a heart attack, Brandon, and I got them all.
Got them all, kid.
Number 1, being Italian. Number 2, owning a diner. Number 3, I know you assholes. Number 4, there's literally 2 people who know how to do my job, and one of them doesn't work here anymore. Number 5, disrespecting Willie. Those are the 5 factors for a heart attack.
Yep.
And Nat has them all. Because he's like Brandon and Adine, only 2 people who know to run this joint. Willie can go fuck himself.
Who the
which
fuck
is
is
sad
Nadine?
for Willie. Well, we know Nadine. She's back there. Yeah, she and Willie are like the 2 people. Now that the other Hispanic guys that worked there when Brandon first started, and you know, whatever those guys, I don't know where they are. We haven't seen them in a minute. But Brandon doesn't know what to do because he got this task force. He's real busy, but no, I can't let down Nat. And
except Nat is not putting this pressure on Brandon. Brandon is taking up this torch on his own because he wants this.
Yep, Brandons are doing it to themselves.
Brandon wants the drama.
Yeah, he does. Brandon needs to be the savior, and so he's like, "I'm going to do this. And Jim, rightly, is like, "You can do what you want, but this is stupid." And it was a full-time job that almost killed that dude. And it's going to be a full-time job for you also. And yeah. I don't know if we've talked about it, but you're on a task force now. There's like a Nobel laureate needs to talk to you about something. And what's he going to do? Have a mega burger while he does it? Foolishness. So, I don't know. There's a lot going on for Brandon now. But he's doing it anyway. And he shows up at the Peach Pit. And he takes the Brandon shirt off the wall. And then the whole gang comes in because they're going to save the day together. They're going to put on a play in the barn, you guys. And Donna puts more obviousness on the jukebox. I'm sure you didn't hear the song.
No.
It was Let's hang on to what we got. Don't let go, girl, we got a lot. Got a lot of love between us. Hang on, hang on, hang on to the peach pod. Doo
Woo!
doo doo.
Woo!
Yep. I made that about us. I feel
I
good
like
about
it.
it. Yeah. So that's what happens this episode. A lot of shit came out of nowhere.
Set
Heart attacks. Cindy being at school. Oh fuck! Didn't talk about David. David's in therapy.
and then
But
back on drugs.
well, it's because he went to therapy wearing that hat. Like it's that he's not cured, and it like and the his shrink is like, hey, getting off drugs is a good start, David. This may not be easy, but keep it up. And David's like, I think it'll be all right. And Kelly's like, David, it might not be that easy, and he's like, I think it'll be all right. And he's going to go do his radio shift. And Donna says, David, I'm not sure you should do that. He goes, it's a big trigger. I know, but I think it'll be all right. And but he has Steve cover for him the first night. And Steve calls phone sex hotline live on the air because, Steve. And the next night, David's going to get somebody else to cover for him. But instead, he finds more meth. And the important thing to talk about here, I think, as regards David's drug use, is this hat, because he wears this hat to therapy and you're like, that's a sign that this shit ain't over. But then he leaves therapy and he takes the hat off and he's acting normal, right? Which is what happens. People stop taking their drugs. They start acting normal. They take off their drug guy hat and everything's cool. But it's not cool because people relapse all the time. And so David relapses. And so you could just tell that him taking the hat off was a false front. This was not real. We were coming back to it again. We knew it. He's probably going to be wearing the hat again next week.
Hell yeah.
Because he's back on drugs. So that's what happens this episode. David takes the meth.
Oh my God.
Straight slurping it off the paper. Was that ASMR? Did I ASMR, everybody?
I think you did.
I think I did. Oh, guess
Someone
what?
just fell asleep. Wake up.
Yeah, well, you know what? If you just fell asleep, David's going to play some Mexican death metal for you.
Okay, why are these students playing his radio show when they're supposed to be sleeping, when they are sleeping? I do not understand this group.
No, I mean, maybe that's what Brandon's alarm comes on to. Because it was exactly 5 a.m. So, like, maybe his alarm was set for 5 and it came on. But we didn't see that part where it came on and went,
Wake up.
Yeah, I would have preferred the Godzilla thing.
Me too.
I think Brandon would have too. Brenda would have. She learned to sleep through the Godzilla thing. But this David death metal shit, she's like, what the fuck is happening?
I don't want to wake up to David on a drug rage.
No, I barely want to wake up to David being like chill.
Yeah.
Like I would wake up to David performing "You're so precious to me."
Yeah.
And my precious to you. We know that he should start every radio show with "Switch It Up" because like you should play that on the hour every hour because it's the one thing keeping the gangs at bay.
Yeah.
But he's not.
Racism.
He's playing Meatloaf. By the way, he played a Meatloaf song, by the way.
Oh.
One I'd never heard of, but Meatloaf had an album in 1994. That's when I Would Do Anything for Love, but I Won't Do That came out, which he never said it was about, but I think it's pegging.
I was just going to say, it's pegging.
Yeah, it's pegging.
Well.
God bless Meatloaf. R.I.P. Eddie.
Eddie.
So, what do you think this episode was really about?
I'm going to start with the big one.
Okay.
Because energy is low. Oh, welcome to the beginning of the burnout epidemic.
Okay.
Honestly, I could be totally wrong, but I really feel like this is the beginning of the burnout epidemic because these kids are all, they're like Yeah, I'll do a radio show from 2 to 6 a.m.
Yeah.
during freshman year of college on top of schoolwork. I'll totally do that.
Yep.
Oh, we can't do the show, but we'll listen to you every single night.
Every night. Yep.
Oh, school and taking over a diner? Sure, I can totally do that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, School, pregnant? Sure.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'm not sure, but like whatever she decides, it's just
Uh-huh.
they're all taking on too much because it's not just the women who have now been convinced that they can have it all. It's now this group of kids that have been told you can do anything.
Yep. And you
Um,
should
and you
constantly.
should. And why not do everything now while you have the energy? Except, oh, wait, it's better to learn to pace yourself so you don't find yourself in a burnout situation because you know it's really hard to do when you burn out? Re energize.
Yeah. It's tough. Yeah. I don't know. I wonder if that's a lesson you can learn without doing it. Like, can you learn that vicariously through other people's mistakes? I'm not sure you can.
I want to believe you can, though, Jeff. Otherwise, we're just going to continue to be in this downward sink as
Yeah. I mean,
humans.
I think you can. I think each of us individually can learn it and then not do that shit no more. But I'm not sure that you like. If someone says, well, you're burning the candle at both ends and in the middle, and you're like, fire, fire, fire. Um, I don't know that you hear that. You know,
Yeah.
like I don't think you can. I don't think you can get to the other side of it without going through it. Maybe.
Ugh.
I know.
I want to believe.
But here's the good part. You've already done it. You already got burned out. You did your burnout already. You don't do it again. You don't
I
have to do it
know,
twice.
but it's a slow fucking process trying to get out of it.
Sure. Yeah, I'm not recommending it, but I mean, we all fucking do it.
Yeah.
We've all done that thing where we're trying to do too many things at once and we just fucking can't.
Yeah.
Um and you're right, like that's what's going on here. They're Brandon and Andrea and David just like here's the problem. Um there's not an equal distribution of shit to do. Because what I wrote down that this episode was about is people need more to do. Because Cindy is bored as fuck, so
Sure.
she's going back to school. Brenda has nothing to do.
Stuart's
She
gone.
hasn't had a storyline since Vegas.
Yeah.
I mean, she's just sitting there passing information to people. Nothing for Brenda to do. Kelly has nothing to do. Like, now that she doesn't have to go find Aaron who's lost, like all she has to do is like talk to Donna about David and talk to David about David. And then I don't know, does she even talk to David about Donna? Probably not. But she needs more to do.
No, they
Go
do
ahead.
at one point when they're walking down the stairs later, and he's like, "Oh yeah, my therapist said it's your fault,"
Oh,
jokingly.
right. Yeah, yeah.
He's like, "I think it's gonna be fine with Donna. You know, whether or not we have sex, it's probably better if we don't have sex because we can be friends. Have I mentioned that we haven't had sex, and I'm totally
Yeah.
fine with it?"
Yep. And Kelly's like, uh-huh. Yeah. I do remember that walking down the stairs. Steve needs more to do. Like
Always needs more to do.
now that he's like survived the John Sears assault at the black ball ceremony, like okay, it's like Steve is now like he got time to do a radio show, like random tonight. Learn how to do a radio show, learn how to patch calls in. I mean, he had learned how to make outgoing calls on the air. I don't. Good job, Steve. I
But he
mean, your
couldn't work.
choices were weird, but
He couldn't make sure to have the mic turned on properly when he started the show, but he made sure to figure out how to make calls.
well, that was the bit. You had to learn the bit. Yeah, you got to make sure the bit's going to work. And look, there's a lot of buttons to press, and I don't blame him for not getting them all right the first time. He did okay. I mean, suspect radio, but he did okay. And like to start this episode, like Brandon hit the ground running, but he needed more to do before this episode. Like he's been like ever since coming back from visiting Emily, he hasn't had much to do. Except for like be mad at Steve for getting him in trouble and shit.
And Randall.
Right, but that's been over for a couple weeks. Like I don't even remember what happened last week, to be honest with you.
Stuff
It's
with
mostly
Deshaun.
been
Deshaun broke his leg, I think.
yeah, but that's like Brandon didn't have anything to do with that. Like Brandon's just watching people do stuff. No, that last episode was so heavily Dylan, like Dylan
Oh
and
yeah.
Suzanne and Erica and all of that stuff. Um, so yeah, I just a lot of folks without a lot to do, and then there's like 4 people with too much to do. Like Dylan didn't have anything to do this episode, really. You know, he like brought Suzanne in for a job interview. Um, got that hamburger signed. Brought it to Nat at the Peach Pit or the hospital, the hospital pit,
Yeah.
Peach Pit, Peach Hospit.
The
I don't
pit,
know.
the peach pit.
Yeah, what? I don't know. Um,
Because there's that new hospital show called The Pit that everyone's like, oh,
that's
it's so
true.
good. And I'm like, oh, like
People really
most
like
shows
it.
the first season.
I don't know. People really like this Pit show. I didn't watch it because it felt a little heavy. I was like, ugh, it seems like a lot of hospital stuff happening in this hospital. I don't know if
Yeah,
I want to watch it.
I'm good.
Yeah, people really liked it though. Like people whose opinions I trust really liked it. So I'm sure that it's great. But
I'm
if
gonna
it
be
ain't
over
Peach,
here in my Gilded Age corner,
there you go.
just having a good time.
If that Pit ain't Peach or Berg, I ain't down with it. Although I think the Pit takes place in Pittsburgh, maybe I don't know. Anyhow, yeah, it would be nice if they could figure out how to spread this shit out so that so that the burnout people got some help and the bored people had something to do.
Yes.
But I guess that's kind of how it works, right?
Oh,
Like
yeah.
in real life, we don't do a good job of offloading when we need the help, especially if we got someone sitting next to us who's fucking playing video games because they have plenty of time on their hand. Like, hey, could you help me? No, in a minute. Can you tell I live with a 14-year-old?
No.
I know, right? But yeah, we got burnouts and we got nothing to do's. And when they come together, you get an episode where it just feels like all set up.
Yes.
Except for David's stuff, which is like in the middle. Everything else is set up out of nowhere for whatever's coming next. But I guess, it's not inherently a bad thing. You got to fill 32 episodes.
Sure.
So they can't all be properly paced, I guess. What else is this episode about?
I mean, shit can change, like without warning.
New York
Brandon,
Minute.
and then, yeah, I don't believe that for a second. That doesn't exist. Anyway, no one moves fast
Don
here.
Henley does too exist.
Trains don't move fast here. People don't move fast here.
That's true.
It does happen quickly here. Floods pretty quickly. Zing.
Oh, nailed it. But you lived through it.
Yeah, that's been the worst part. The flooding. Anyway.
You had an earthquake last night. You didn't even notice.
The one time, but I think that's because I was not in the city at the time that it happened.
Maybe.
And I really think it was Galacticus.
I was wondering how long I could just do that. I figured I could have stretched it out for like 4 more footsteps and it would have been
I'm sleepy enough. I would let you just do it. Keep going.
It's great radio.
Cheesemeisters, when you go to a drive-in that's outside the city, you get home very late.
We are delirious.
Yes.
It's okay.
I think this is just about, big things can happen unexpectedly, good and bad. I mean,
Yep.
Nat having the heart attack kind of comes out of nowhere. Andrea getting pregnant doesn't necessarily come out of nowhere, but it is, still a surprise. It's a big
It comes in
change.
somewhere.
Zing.
Nailed it.
Uh, Brandon suddenly getting another thing handed to him. Not that he doesn't do work, he does, but let's be real, he just gets stuff because he's a white boy. Um,
He's our white boy.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Cindy's just suddenly in school.
uh-huh. I think this episode is doing exactly that. Like things can just come out of nowhere, and what matters is how
And
you
they
deal with
can.
them. Yeah. And what matters is like what you do when those things come out of nowhere.
Exactly.
You know? And what Brandon does is yell at adults and take over the peach pit. What Andrea does is like struggle with
Yeah.
how to take that next step forward, but she figures it out and she does what feels right to her. And, that ain't over. Pregnancies take a minute and having kids takes longer. So we're at the beginning of this journey that, holy shit, I wasn't expecting that to happen. And here we are.
Yeah.
And, you know, like Nat's got to introduce a low cholesterol menu or something. Maybe I don't know. Nat has to make some lifestyle changes because his ticker gave out mid tray handoff, I guess. Suzanne got a job, and that kind of came out of nowhere. So we're gonna see where that goes. Like, how does she
Yeah.
handle that action? Um, so it's really about what comes next.
Hmm.
And even though there's a bunch of random shit that happens to start this episode, we know we're on some paths moving forward, um, taking us towards Washington, D.C. One assumes. I'm not going to, I mean, it could be Washington State. I don't think it is.
I
Um,
wish.
yeah.
Oh, that'd be great. Go to
Yeah.
Seattle.
I think they're going to D.C. I think it's that Washington. But um, yeah, I think yeah, shit can happen. But what do you do with it?
Hmm.
That's where they're pushing us here. Um, I think this episode, not for the first time, is about Brandon being the savior.
Oh, yes.
Because, like, he knows what to tell Andrea. Like, he goes to her seeking help and advice, but he's mostly just looking for a way to tell someone else what to do. I think that's how
Hmm.
Brandon knows what to do, is he tells other people and then he figures his own stuff out. Um, but he won't ask for any help. Even when Brenda comes into the bathroom with, like, I don't know what's going on with Shannon right now, but she has the most hair.
Her
Her hair
hair
is
is so lush and big.
it's huge. Like I don't know what's going on, but it's a lot of hair going on top of her dome. And she comes into the bathroom and she's like, death metal.
You know what it is? She's growing out her bangs, and so they've been like combing it into her hair and doing a bigger swoop. That was kind of
Mm,
a thing in the 90s.
okay.
Shout outs to my mom. Um, so I think that's why that part is so big there, because it's the bangs growing out with the rest of her hair.
That might be. The
It's
rest of it
hard.
seems very full too. Like she's got
Well,
a mane, you
the
know.
girl the girl had good hair genes.
She did. She had a lot of it's like a lioness.
Volume.
Yeah, really. She was moose is what it was.
If she didn't do a hair commercial, they fucked up.
I know, right? But I don't even remember why we started talking about her gigantic hair. Oh, because
She's
she was.
stunning and we miss her.
I know that's true, but like in this context, um, because she comes into into their Jack and Jill, and is like, anything I can do to help, and he's like, I mean, I got too much to do, and you got nothing to do, but no, literally nothing you could do to help, and I would trust me, I would ask, if I could think of one thing that anyone could do to help me run this restaurant by myself.
You know, as someone though who got asked a lot the last few months, what can we do? Sometimes the response that you give people is not the one they're expecting, and they're like, oh, this is actually beyond my control. Like, can I interest you in some unsolicited advice or a hug? And I'm like, I'm good on both of those things.
I get it.
In this case, though, he really could ask for help.
Here, I have a suggestion for Brandon. Okay, hindsight 2020. I understand. I'm looking at this from the wise old age of older than Nat when he had a heart attack.
No.
But Brandon is trying to run an entire restaurant with, best I can figure, because we haven't seen yet, Willie and Suzanne, because Nadine's out of town. He's also trying to be on this task force. He probably has classes to go to. We know he loves going to the gym. I mean, I assume he's still going to do that if he's not going there to meet Lucinda. He's still got to talk to Deshaun. He's going to be, I don't know. He's not his tutor, maybe. I don't know how that works anymore. But
Yeah.
Here's a suggestion, Brandon. You get everybody that you know. You get David, and David's, and maybe leave David out of it. He's got some stuff happening, but call up Kelly and Steve and Brenda and Dylan, and not Andrea. Although, maybe Andrea can help out a little bit. Andrea would be good. Here's what you should do: ask everybody what get their schedules, get their class schedules, and how many people is that? Brandon. It's like 5-6 people.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody gets an opening shift once a week.
Yes.
You make a schedule, and that way you don't have to open the Peach Pit at 5:00 every morning. Mondays are Brandon, Tuesdays are Dylan, Wednesdays are Steve, Thursdays are Brenda, Fridays are Donna. Kelly gets Saturday. Everybody comes in for Sunday because there's brunch. I don't know, something.
Yeah.
You spread it out. It's a very easy thing to ask for help for. And Brandon's like, can't think of a thing. I'll probably just take my jersey down off the wall, put it on.
So 2 things I want to add to that, because
Yes.
I feel like with these kids' schedules, I really feel like they should just do kind of like a European schedule wherein they open for breakfast because everyone wants breakfast at the Peach Pit. They close for a bit in the afternoon, and then they open up again for like late dinner, evening rush. Because what do you go to a diner for? Breakfast and dinner after a show or whatever evening shenanigans.
I bet they get a lunch crowd too, but
I'm sure they do. But like, I'm thinking for these kids, even if they're all working together, cannot keep that place open on its regular schedule.
Yeah, for sure. Do that
one
too.
Idea. Yeah.
Yep, I agree.
But
Brandon, take notes.
Right. I also think, and I've had this thought for a while, I think Brandon is doing all of this because he doesn't want to focus on missing Emily.
Okay. Interesting. I mean, I think Brandon puts a lot of stuff in little boxes and sticks them up on the shelf so he doesn't have to deal with them anymore. Emily is, I'm sure, one of those things.
Oh, yes.
But I wish that there was something as concrete as like a driving factor for Brandon.
That's me adding something that the writers barely thought about.
Yeah. But I like spread this out, Brandon. You don't have to take it all on your own shoulders. But he won't, because he's fucking Brandon and he has to be. He's like, look, him and Nadine are the only two who ever knew how to run this place.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a diner, Nat. Like, I mean, I understand it, there's logistics. You know who could help? Fucking Joey, who owns half the place.
Willie, who has been there wanting a promotion for so long and could probably run this better than you give him credit for.
Willie knows what's up.
He does.
But like Willie could take the line cook duties, which is pretty much what his job is anyway. Suzanne can be the waitress. Brandon can run give out wings. Like everybody else can come and take a shift. Joey, he's already shown an ability to talk to the vendors. Give him the back office shit. Yeah. Let him take that for a little while. Because I haven't seen you do shit yet, Joey, except for try to sell the joint. So, but he knows how to talk to vendors. Like that seems to be his skill set. Give him all the back office stuff. I think this is not a problem.
Yeah.
I think this is 1 month, 2 months.
Sure.
I don't know how long it takes to recover from bypass surgery. Couple months would be my guess before Nat is, up to coming in 1 day a week. Like, start coming in and Andrea gets her day off because she's second trimester at that point.
Yes.
So, but she's through the worst of it. She's like she's in a rosy spot, I think. I guess, assuming she doesn't have an abortion next week. But Brandon can't do that. Brandon has to do it all on his own and yell at a bunch of adults on the way. Because
he thinks he's George Bailey.
He thinks he's Superman. But Superman knows that he can't do it all himself. Superman has the dickish Green Lantern for his best friend.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Well, you haven't seen the new Superman movie? Yeah, shouts to Guy Gardner. Shouts to Captain Tight Pants, Nathan Fillion. Yeah, Guy Gardner is one of the Green Lanterns, and he is like the dick. Yeah, there's lots of Green Lanterns, but Guy Gardner's always been the dick with the bad haircut. And so even Superman knows he needs help. He has a dog that helps him out sometimes, you guys.
I know.
It's a cute puppy. Fantastic Four have a tiny little robot with like cartridges for the eyeballs.
And a weird ass looking baby.
Yeah, well, all babies.
That baby was not the whole time. When the baby wasn't CGI, adorable.
Right.
When it was CGI, I felt like I was watching Breaking Dawn all over again and was re-traumatized.
You didn't fall in love with the baby, did you?
No.
Okay. Isn't that what happens in that movie?
I'm not a wolf, so no.
The wolf falls in love with the baby, and everybody's like, cool, problem solved. Those books are fucking stupid, everybody. Twilight sucks. Eat it!
Look, I totally got suckered into them, and I'll admit it. Admit to where you've been suckered in, people. There are worse things to be suckered in. At least I got through all of Twilight and came out a better person.
Okay.
Which is realizing that they're crap.
Yeah, they're rough. I mean, I was okay the first couple books. But then the fucking werewolf falls in love with the baby, and everybody's like, great!
Oh no, that final book is what made me start yelling at books. I was like, what?
I put that book down. I almost never put books down. I put it down, and I almost didn't. I'm glad I finished it because now I know about the werewolf and the baby. And that's information for life. Like you need that shit. But the fucking werewolf falls in love with the baby, you guys. You know what? I guess we're wrong about Teen Wolf because people have weird reactions to werewolves.
They really
people are way cooler with werewolves than we would assume that they would be. Although they should be cool to the werewolf and Buffy because he's awesome. Shh, don't tell Leslie.
There's a werewolf?
I'm not going to spoil who the werewolf is. But we love him. We love him more than we love Months, and we love Months.
You love Months. I'm not sold on Months.
You'll get there. There's nothing to. There's
and
no
it's
reason
not that
not
I don't like him. I'm just kind of like
you just don't know yet. But Steve is like, I'm going to be on the radio tonight. Got to go tell Months and Keith. Like,
I don't look favorably on people who are staring at my snacks. I'm very possessive of my snacks.
I thought you were going to say Snatch.
Nope.
Okay.
But I also would not.
Because you were like, those people are like a werewolf falling in love with a baby.
Nope.
No notes.
Hands would be thrown if you're staring at my snatch.
I feel like you don't like the word snatch. I don't feel like that's one that you go to all that often.
It's not, but it doesn't mean I have a problem with it.
Okay. It just didn't
it didn't roll off the tongue.
It did. I mean, well, if you're doing it right. Nailed it.
Snatch.
One last thing I think this episode is about. You've seen Jaws, right?
Oh yeah.
And you know where Harry comes up to talk to the chief, and the chief goes, "That's some bad hat, Harry."
Oh. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Too many people wearing hats in this episode. That hat, obviously, we've talked about David's hat, and we've talked about Cindy's hat. Here's what I wonder. Does that hat mean Cindy's going to start doing drugs?
Oh, I hope so.
That'd be kind of great.
She
did turn it around backwards.
A good time.
Yeah, that's true. She turned it around backwards like David. I mean, Brenda did it for her. Maybe Brenda was saying you should start doing drugs, Cindy. I fucking that hat when she took the hat out of the bag, I thought that is the largest hat I've ever seen. Like that is bigger than Turd Ferguson's big yellow cowboy hat. Like that's how it's funny. It's funny because it's bigger than a regular hat. But and then this hat is huge, and also they didn't like. I don't know if you saw the back, like where you adjust it. It was like adjusted all the way out.
Yeah, that was rude.
And then they put it on Cindy's gigantic hair. Like her hair has been a mess all year. It has just been this dome helmet situation. And I didn't think you could make it look worse. But then you put the world's largest hat on it, and it is comically large what's happening on her head.
Yep.
And then Brenda turns it around, and it still looks ridiculous. It's better, but it's still ridiculous. That's some bad hat, Harry. You take those hats off, you guys. As much as it bothers you that Brandon chews gum when he talks,
Oh,
I feel like you shouldn't. No one on this show should wear a hat, at least not right now, because this is a problem. There's no good coming to these hats. I can't. That image is seared into my brain of Cindy's giant head with that hat on it. I can't.
When you wake up with a jolt in the middle of the night from a nightmare, it was about Cindy and her hat.
Oh my God, it so was. It wasn't Brenda's large hair. It was Cindy's. Anything else this episode might really have been about?
No.
All right, what did this make you nostalgic for?
This is a weird one, but this is what you do when awful things happen in your life. You find the funny thing. So I've mentioned before, my dad had a stroke when I was 16, and he was in the ICU for 2 weeks, which is a fun place to visit when you're 16. Let me tell you.
Now, who ran his diner?
No one.
Fuck.
We lost the diner.
Oh my God, I'm sorry.
I chose theater over the diner.
You're like, can't do both. Got to meet the president.
Yep.
Sorry, Dad.
Yeah. So, one of the only funny, I shouldn't say the only, I honestly only remember so much about that week, or those 2 weeks. But one of the weirdest things about that time was while we were, so when you have a family member in the ICU, although ICUs can be different all around, there's of course the ICU waiting area. And there was it was full of Amish people.
Huh.
Because there was one of their own in the ICU.
Sure.
And I don't know what sect of Amish they were. They were dressed like Amish. I don't know. So no one come for me. And if anyone did from that, I would be interested. Like, how are you listening to this?
Mennonites.
I guess. So my sister and I and whatever relative was visiting at the time would just be sitting there kind of fascinated, like, and this group was getting more phone calls than we were.
Right.
Because people call into the ICU sometimes be like, hey, are they still there? Or like, hey, can we come visit? Are you all okay? Cool. They were getting more phone calls than we were. So that was interesting. But then the real funny part of it was your mom one time was sitting with us and she goes, Leslie, it looks like there's a guy your age over there. And I went, it would never work out. I'm not converting.
That's true. Yeah. But if he was on his Rumspringer, you guys could have had a good time.
I mean, I briefly thought about it, but no, little distracted by
other
things.
Yeah, I get it. It reminds me of one of my favorite stupid knock-knock jokes.
Okay.
Or no, it's not a knock-knock. It's a light bulb joke. It is, how many Mennonites does it take to screw in a light bulb?
Oh, dear.
It does not matter, for surely they will all burn in hell. because Mennonites they can use electricity and stuff.
Yeah.
It's the difference. It's one of the.
Shout out to those Mennonites that were there.
That's right.
Hope you all are doing all right.
Yeah, I hope your diner stayed open. Yeah. Man, I don't know what this made me nostalgic for, to be honest with you. Like random shit just happening out of nowhere, I guess.
Life changes.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, I don't get nostalgic for like I had to go wait in the hospital.
Again,
but you had the Mennonites, so it's good.
It's weird. I have asked people recently if they ever get nostalgic for like it sounds so weird, but for other times that were rough in their lives, and they're like, absolutely not. And I go, oh, I do. You know why? Because I know I got through that time,
right?
And I want to relive the time that I got through instead of this time that I don't know if I'm going to get through.
Right.
I will.
Yeah.
I just don't know when, and it's annoying.
Yeah. And this will later be a thing that you look back on fondly.
And that makes me so sick to think about.
You'll mostly think about the peach pod.
I hope so.
Yeah, 100%. Because, you can let your pand out.
I catch myself thinking about how when I finally leave New York and then the fact that I'm going to miss it. And I'm like, that is so despicable to me because I have not enjoyed my time here. But I know there are going to be, there have been magical moments. And fine, New York. I'll give you that.
Yeah, there's going to be things that you miss for sure. But it's good, because we survive things. It's just,
Boy, do we.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. I mean, survival is a good thing, but then you come out like, shit.
Look, as long as whatever you go through helps you go through the next thing, then there it is. That's what you got from it.
Fair enough.
Like, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. This doesn't make me nostalgic for anything. I got nothing.
That's okay.
Yeah. I'm gonna wear a hat maybe later. Take some drugs.
You're not nostalgic for a time when you thought I can do it all?
No, because you know what? To be honest, like when I was interviewing to be an RA. Here you go. Here's my nostalgia corner, everybody. When I was interviewing to be an RA, like an RA is like it's a lot of work being an RA. It's not like a full-time job, but it's kind of worse because you live where you work. So you're never off the clock, even if you're off the clock. Because something could happen out of nowhere. Like your next door neighbor could have a heart attack. I mean, it's a college. It's probably not going to happen. Yeah. But I had a kid have a seizure like right in front of me one morning. Oh my God. Fucking talk about the day where shit happened out of nowhere. All right, now I got stories. One Sunday morning, it was like 6 a.m. Somebody pulled the fucking fire alarm. And one of your jobs as an RA is to clear your floor. Like knock on doors, make sure everybody's out, get them out. And so we did that. And I'm standing outside and it's spring. So it's like early April. So it's pretty chilly on a Sunday morning. And we're all just standing out there and there's no fire, but we're all just fucking standing out there. And some guy who I knew because he was one of those folks that does this shit, because you see him around campus, stands up on a thing on like the stairs or whatever.
Sure.
And starts telling everybody about the glory of Jesus Christ. And I turned around and I said, not right now. And then a guy behind me drops to the ground having a seizure. And I'm like, and I'm in charge of shit because I'm an RA.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck. I'm like, somebody go get, because there's an ambulance and a fire truck here.
Yeah.
I'm like, go. like, you know, somebody has to run and get the ambulance and bring it over and get this guy on the, and I went to the hospital with this kid. I don't even know him. He wasn't one of my residents, because like all of the floors exited the same doorway. So it's like everybody in our wing is kind of standing there. And so it's just this random dude I'd never met before, but that was my door. I was the person on that door. The other RAs were at different spots. And so this guy goes to the hospital, and I went with him in the ambulance, this random kid.
Wow.
And I'm just like in it waiting, and, you know, spent the morning at the hospital with this kid. He was fine. You know, I suppose like later, like we got a hold of his parents and somebody came, and, but he'd never had a seizure before, but like shit can come out of nowhere is sort of what I'm saying. And that's what happens in this episode. And it's what happened, on that day when I was RAing. But the original thought I was going to have is when I was interviewing to be an RA, they were like, "This is a lot of work, this job, you have to do a lot of things. How are you going to handle it all?" And my answer was always like, I feel that I've always found that I'm at my best when I have a lot on my plate.
Yeah.
Like that's what I answered. I think that's probably bullshit. Like, I think that's a thing you tell yourself when you're younger, you know, to be like, I should load up. I should be on this task force and run the peach pit. But it's probably not true. The person who probably has this shit figured out most right now is Brenda. Like, she's not doing much. She's all right. She's got nice hair.
Yeah.
You know,
great pajama game.
Yeah, you know, she has enough time to go shopping for huge fucking hats. You know, like she's doing all right, Brenda.
Yeah.
Everybody else is a fucking mess. So I guess that's what that made me nostalgic for. Who is your Steve Sanders Memorial worst person of the episode?
It's Brandon.
Like, it's fucking Brandon. Yes.
It's fucking Brandon. Okay, I know we've criticized Jimbo's lack of parenting on here, but how fucking dare you say to your father that, well, at least Nat's never disappointed me. Fuck you, Brandon. Yeah. You know what I would do if I was your dad? I'd be like, cool, you can fucking move out and get your own place and learn how to, like, take care of yourself, because clearly everything I have done for you hasn't been enough.
Yep.
Anyway. Yeah. And just the audacity that he thinks, like, I knew in school, I was lucky that I didn't have to work during school. Did I my senior year? Yeah, because I had a what is it? Work study job.
Sure.
But like, it was in the theater department. So like, great, doing the thing I love.
Right. I was going to be here anyway.
Oh, the building that I basically live in? Cool. But like, I knew to work during school was going to be insane, and I didn't have to, so I did it. And Brandon clearly doesn't either, although I don't understand. He didn't have to work in high school either. I don't know why he thinks he doesn't need to work now. So for him to think that he can take this on, it makes me the same level of... No, it makes me angrier than when I'm working with young actors and then the director tries to throw on some extra bullshit that we're, you know, well, you're being paid. It's like, no, I wasn't. That's not in the contract, whatever. And the young people are like, yeah, sure, add on an extra show. I love doing this.
Right.
Shut up. We're tired.
Fuck, you pay me.
Exactly. Want more. Know your worth. And please shut up.
Everybody.
But also go vote. Yeah, eat it.
Everybody shut up all the time.
Shut up except to go vote. Oh my God. Now I'm awake, except I'm not.
You know, it took us 59 minutes and 33 seconds, but we got there.
Hey, we did the damn thing.
That's right. Yeah, mine was also Brandon, and the note I wrote down was Brandon can't do the right thing without being a total dick about it.
Right?
Like, it's noble that you want to help your friend. And that you know, you want to take on more so that they don't lose the thing they care most about. Noble. Like, that's a wonderful thing. I'm glad you're doing it, Brandon. But did you have to be so insufferable about it in the run-up? I mean, dear Lord. Like, what are you going to be when you're tired? Like, you're not even tired yet, and you're already being a total douche nozzle. Like, once you're exhausted, once you're like, time to make the donuts, I made the donuts. Like, once you're that guy, um,
It's
you're going to
over.
be a real hard person to deal with, and you're already like just stabbing your father in the chest.
Oh,
Yeah. Cindy gets a hat from her daughter. Jim gets a knife in the gut. It's rude. Don't like it.
kids. I don't know what's wrong with these kids today.
I do. They're Brandon. They got too much to do or not enough to do. It's hard to say.
Facts.
It's both. All right. I think we did it.
We did it.
Yeah. All right, Cheesemeisters. Join us here on Friday in the After Dark when you probably shouldn't believe what I'm going to tell you right now because, like, with 2 weeks in a row where I told you what we were going to watch and then we watched something else. So right now, the plan is to watch Father of the Bride Part 2. Because, again, didn't want to watch a big old meth movie and didn't want to
No.
watch a heart attack picture. Plus, it's hard in the run up to these things to say, we should watch a movie about a heart attack without Leslie going, who's going to have a heart attack?
Yeah.
So we don't want to spoil stuff. So it's about telling people that you're pregnant. So we're going to, sorry, spoilers for Father of the Bride Part 2. People get pregnant. I know. So we're going to watch that. Unless we don't. And then join us
How?
here.
How could the father of the bride upset us?
I don't know. Maybe it's not available. I mean, it is, but
It is.
yeah. And then join us here next week, next Wednesday, Cheesemeisters, for season 4, episode 19, The Labors of Love. When all of this shit continues.
Yay.
Yep. And but it sweeps.
Yes.
So this was the run up to sweeps. Here's a bunch of shit that's going to happen in the next month.
Sweet.
That's what this episode should have been called. Should be called that instead of Heartbreaker. Poor Nat. But until then, Cheesemeisters.
Bye.
Bye.